Rain diamond, so all my girls in the world could keep shrining. From princess cuts to emeralds to H classes. Yeah, I failed math, but better pass the E class. Went from Chanel number 5 to 2.5. The Melrose resident. Every room's a president with the living rate. Bet y'all haters can't match that. You 6 digits short to catch that. The net year gross is 20,000 on commission. My net week gross 100 mil in addition to the Dow Jones stocks rest.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but I thought we were recording all this time, but clearly we weren't. So we're gonna start this thing all over again. How y'all doing? This is, designing with RP. Came in, I came across a question on the page asking, uh, am I going to discuss more things about RP? Okay, so I brought in my son, Christian. He's 21. He has RP. He was born with RP. Um, whereas though I was born a carrier of RP, but it then mutated. And then my RP, started to show signs and started to affect my seeing. Whereas though my son was born with it and he's known nothing other than RP his entire life. So I have a few questions here that I'm asking, and I would, you know, I'm gonna have him answer these questions. I mean, you are willing, you know, uh, willing to answer the questions, correct?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So, um, question number one: how much can you see?
Uh, from for the viewer's perspective, from about here where I am to the camera's like directly in front of me, sitting on the stool. So it's like, honestly, if you want first person from here to my pants leg, I can see that. That's the best I can give you. Other than that, it's blurry from a far distance. I'm extremely nearsighted, so I can make out details and colors, certain ones, but dark colors such as like navy blue, black, things like that, I get confused with.
Okay. How long have you had RP?
I've had it all my life. I've had it all my life, and yeah, it's been a thing. Just growing up with it.
Okay. Question three: can you explain your type of RP?
As far as I know, it's just uh, I'm just I guess I'm the person that would get it when I was born. I was the person that got it when I was born, and then as far as whenever I will have a kid, my daughter will have it. As far as carrying the disease, yeah, she'll have it with carrying the disease, and then whenever she has a kid, that's who she'll end up passing on to, possibly.
Okay. So the type of RP that Christian has is X-linked, which means me, his mom, passed it genetically to him. And uh, because it is X-linked, um, any daughter that he has, 9 times out of 10, will be a carrier, which means if she has a son somewhere down the line, she would then pass RP to her son. So it is very strong in my family, which normally happens with RP. My mother has it. I have it. My two brothers have it. My nephew, which is my sister's son, he has it. And then I, in turn, passed it to my son. So that's how it is genetically passed on. And that's how he has X-link RP. I know there's different types, but his type is X-link. Number four, how has it been growing up with RP?
As a kid, I didn't notice it much. Growing up, it was more so just kind of running around and exploring the world, getting to know the world as a kid. So whenever I would end up running into things or something like that, I would just kind of pass it off as me being a kid and me being a little stupid. Just it's all right, a little slow on the brain, but
A
hey,
boy being a boy, right?
it happens. And then as I got to middle school and high school, that's when it really started to hit me, and I started to really realize that I had it. So I say middle school, I started to really notice it in about fifth or sixth grade. Like that's when I really started having trouble with, I guess, seeing the board and like engaging with the class enough to keep up to the point where it's like, okay, well, I'm really starting to have these issues with seeing the board and all that. Despite like I'm still wearing glasses at this point, so but it just became like it started to get it harder to see even with the glasses on. So I started to realize, okay, so this is just like they told me all my life that it was gonna be a thing where it gets worse over time, but I didn't want to believe them. So through I stopped wearing my glasses in seventh grade, which ended up making it a little worse. And then eighth through 12th, like middle school and high school, I ended up going through a little depression because accepting the fact that your vision is going isn't the easiest thing in the world. So, eighth through 12th was just kind of exploring the blind journey and just going through life, accepting it, working with it, and trying to, figure out the solutions despite they were teaching me Braille in school and things like that, but I didn't like Braille and I didn't like the classes because they got me out of class at like 8 o'clock in the morning and it was early and cold, so I didn't want to do anything.
Okay. Question number 5. Were you able to obtain a job with RP, with you having RP?
I have had 3 jobs. No, wait. I've had 4. Yeah, I've had 4 jobs. I've worked at CVS, Amazon, Krispy Kreme, and T-Rock. And CVS was, I think it was hard for them to realize, or not realize, for them to kind of adjust to me having a visual impairment because
You don't look like you have a visual impairment.
I don't.
People go by appearances.
Yeah, I walk around and all that. I don't use my cane that much or anything. I'm just walking. But I guess once they started to figure it out, they started to figure it out around the end of the temporary thing. It was a high school thing. It was a temporary thing for high school where I got paid for it, but it was also, I think it also went toward some of my community service hours, if I'm not mistaken. No. It was so I can get job experience. So I did that, and then my second job was Amazon, and I did that after I got out of, just a little bit after I got out of high school. I think it was about a year after. And then I did that for, that was a temporary thing for the first year that I was out. I did that toward the end of 2020. And then I tried to reapply at another facility. And then when I went up, they sent me away about 3 times. And then when I went back the 3rd time, there was a guy and he came up to the car. He gave us the little runaround a couple of times while we were there. And then he finally came up to the car and was like, "We don't hire visually impaired people," and took my badge and all that.
This was at which job?
Amazon. And then, let's see, when we moved to North Carolina, I got started working at Krispy Kreme, which was a fun job. But the only downside about that, which really wasn't their fault, that was more so me not voicing or vocalizing. But they ended up that was when I finally worked on a POS system, a place of sale, and that was difficult because their screens, they weren't the smallest, but having to individually pick donuts and look at the prices and all that is a lot of strain on the eyes. And then T Rock was a company where I was selling phones out of Walmart, and that was just it wasn't anything of like they took into consideration about my eyes, but that was just the whole management thing that was the issue there.
Okay. Are you dating?
Currently, what do you mean?
Yes. Are you dating? Have you been on dates?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Have you had a girlfriend?
I thought you meant like, am I
serious about? Yeah. Are you dating?
Oh yeah, I am.
Okay. And how has it been dating with RP? With you having RP, how has it been dating?
That depends. Some people are willing to do a lot for you, and some people are willing to completely ditch you. There's no in between there.
Okay. So that all depends on the person,
Mhm.
or who you come across. Okay. Okay. What are the difficulties that you've run into with you getting a job?
Aside from that Amazon one where we just straight up told me they don't hire visually impaired people. Honestly, I haven't had much. I mean, people will, I'm sure they take a second look at the application after, I tell them on the interview or in the interview that I'm visually impaired, but like, for the most part, it hasn't impacted me getting the job.
Okay. So, number 8, this is question number 8. When it comes to the lights, like the lighting, how light is too light and how dark is too dark?
As far as too light, I haven't figured that out yet. Like, I don't usually have that much of an issue with light, but as far as I just have my issues when it gets dark, and I don't know how to describe what's too dark. I mean, when it gets dark sometimes, a lot of the time, depending on the area, like if I'm walking into a room with like dim lighting, like extremely dim lighting, then it could just be pitch black to me. I don't see the lights until I actually like would look up or look around for them, and then I'd actually notice them. But even then, they'd end up just fading away, and it's just dark.
So on this question, this is where our RP differs, okay? Because with him, he can have his cell phone bright, completely bright, like, But with me, I can't look at a bright light. I have to have shades on, I have to have something covering my eyes because the light burns my eyes and it causes a severe headache. So I also don't like really using white paper. I have to have dark paper with light, with like when I'm on a computer, I will have to have a dark background with light, with white letters. And that's how I would be able to see it. And as far as, the lighting in the room, if it's too dark, I'm really not going into the room because I can't see. And if I'm coming from outside, walking into the house, I may be able to see pretty good going outside, but coming into the house, I can't see because my eyes don't adjust like they used to. I used to be able to come from outside and walk directly into the house and not have an issue. But now I come from outside and I come into the house and it's like everything disappears. And I will walk right into the wall or the door or the chair or whatever that's there that I didn't see. I literally did not see it. And I may even walk into a person because I did not see them. So that's almost, it's similar to his RP, but that's kind of where we differ, the light and the dark. Okay, so question number 9. Relationships with your family. How close are you? How close are you all? And do they assist you at all?
I'm close with my household. I mean, I know my family would help, but like as far as me talking to them, I don't. Me talking is rare. Like I don't. I reach out, but it's more so just a social thing, a social anxiety thing. I don't like talking to people a lot of the time, so it's hard for me to really reach out to somebody and just try to catch up with them or something like that. But as far as in the house, my family does help, and I have a good relationship with them.
Okay, when it comes to relationships with me, I've grown, and as I got older, I've learned who to deal with, who not to deal with, and that comes with time. So relationships with my family, you know, this is not because of the RP. It's just the dynamics of how families are today. You know, we grew up together, and then something or something comes in between, and either you allow it or you don't, or just you see people for who they actually are, and you just allow them to go about their lives the best way they can, or the best way you go about yours the best way you can. So you know it's not the RP, it's just the people. Seriously. Okay, so question number 10: are you required to use a cane? If so, do you use it, and how often? And if not, why not?
I feel like you wrote that question. Um, just, you were wrong. I'm just gonna put it out there. But I'm legally blind, so required, yes. Do I use it? No, because a lot of the time I know my way around, or I don't go out much, so I never really, truthfully, I never really have a reason to use it. I don't like I know my way around, or like if I'm going out, I can figure it out. You know, like my vision isn't completely gone to a point where I can't see anything, but I understand that my vision is getting worse to that point where, things are starting to kind of just disappear and they're just not there. So I should start using it, but I don't.
Okay, and with my RP, I do have a cane. Excuse me. I do have a cane. And do I use it? No.
Oh.
um, it, okay, so I think when it comes to his RP, I think for him, it is more so he feels embarrassed to a certain extent with using a cane. And he does not want everybody to know that he has a visual impairment, because you can't look at him, as you see, and be able to tell that he cannot see you, or he can't see what's in front of him. And he does not want people to feel like he's handicapped or disabled. He doesn't want to be treated differently than anyone else. I think that's my personal opinion on why my son does not use his cane. As far as me not using my cane, I don't think that my vision is that far gone to where I have to use my cane. Now, if I'm in a dark place, to be perfectly honest, I should be using my cane. That goes without saying. I can't lie about that. If I enter somewhere where as I stated, I don't go in places where it's too dark. I don't. But again, if I do enter a place where if I'm going somewhere and it's dark, I do need a cane, because I cannot see in the dark. I can't. I can't even pretend that I see. I will stop in my tracks and I will not proceed. I don't have a reason to. If I don't have anyone with me who can guide me that I trust, because being visually impaired has a lot to do with, and dealing with someone has a lot to do with trust. You have to be with someone that you trust, because a lot of people, especially when you're young and you're hanging out with people, they think it's funny when you run into something, and it's not. But they'll, laugh and, get kicks out of it, whereas though you're embarrassed by it. And you'll laugh with them, but it's embarrassing. So, yes, I do have a cane, and I am required to use the cane in the dark, but I don't go places where it's too dark for me to have to use my cane. Okay, number 11. Tell me something that happened to you that you feel may have never happened if you weren't visually impaired.
Only thing I can think of is that job at Amazon. I would have got that. That's it.
I can't hear you. You got to speak up.
It would have been the job at Amazon. I would have got that. That's it. I don't. Honestly, a lot of situations don't. It doesn't. It hasn't impacted or it hasn't happened where someone or someone has come up to me and straight up and like you can't do this because you're blind or this and that. Like, of course, bullying happens, but that's just bullying. You know what I mean? They're gonna find something, and you being visually impaired is a target, so they use that. But I'm not gonna use that as a
crutch.
As a point here. Yeah. So honestly, I just say I think it's just that job at Amazon I would have got.
So for me to answer that question, what I think, tell me something that may not have happened. Or I feel may not have happened if I wasn't visually impaired. I would still be designing. I myself, I am the CEO of the Four C's of Diamonds, which is what you see me wearing. You'll see it on my almost everything that I put on. That is my company. That is my brand, and I say that I am my brand, and I really mean that. And I used to. I hate saying used to because that means it's in the past tense and it's no longer mine. My company, the Four C's of Diamonds, I would design for. All of the designs came from me. All of the, cuts of clothing came from me. I would say the 4C's stands for custom cut clothing that fits your characteristics. That's the 4C's. And the diamonds, I felt like every person in this world is entitled to something precious in their life. And a diamond is the most precious thing that, especially a woman could attain. And I think that, if you can give your woman diamonds, then you can give her one of the most precious things in the world. So the 4C's of Diamonds, that's where that came from. And also the 4C's of Diamonds stands for color, cut, clarity, and carat. The 4C's of Diamonds is actually the 4C's of Diamonds. So, I kind of, feel like that's what fit. And I think that that's the one thing that I would have still been able to do if my vision did not, take a turn for the worse. Honestly, it hit me very hard, very, very hard. Yeah, that's the one thing. Okay. Do you think that things in your life would be different? A lot different if you were not visually impaired?
Honestly, not really. No. I mean, I live my life just like everyone else does. It's just I can't see. That's the only difference.
I think that, and it's my own personal opinion, I think that your life would have absolutely been different. I know for a fact by now you would have had a car. You would have been on your own. You would have, you do have your own place, but you would be on your own, driving and, in a probably a long-term relationship because you are that guy, that would be in a relationship. And I think that you would be taken care of and being responsible for yourself as well as the person that you're with. Because as I stated, you are that guy. You know what I'm saying? You're not a guy who disrespects women, who, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not that guy. You're very, very warm-hearted, very kind, very gentle. That's the type of guy you are. So I know for a fact that you would have had a car, and I know that I would have bought you a car at 16. That goes without saying. Whatever car you would have picked out, I would have purchased for you. And I remember when you turned 16, I do remember crying because I wanted to get you a Mercedes truck. And when you graduated from high school, I again wanted to get you a Mercedes truck. And it hurt my heart that I could not give you, something that you can drive off in yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that I think that and that's just from my perspective of being the parent of a child with RP. You know what I'm saying?
See, my thing is this. I'm a lot more trusting than she is. So now, as far as the whole getting the car thing, I get that. I hear what you're saying on that. I understand. I still want a car. I still want a car.
I know you do.
And I said this.
Yeah.
Now, my thing is this. I'm willing. Now, of course, it's going to be somebody that I'm cool with or that I really do trust. But I'm cool with somebody driving me around.
But I'm saying this on camera, and I'm saying you hold me to this. Any person that you marry, right? And I say marry because in a marriage it's two people, and the person can't just leave. Well, they can, but everything is half yours, right? So even in a divorce, you can have that person sell the car and give you your half on the car. So, but in a relationship, if I put a car in someone else's name to have you drive around, that person can say, to hell with you, even the day after I purchased the car, and then ride off in the sunset with something that I purchased and it's theirs to own. So that's where the conflict comes in. Now, I'm saying to you, and you hold me to this, when you get married, my intentions would be, I would buy you a car. I would buy you both a car. And it wouldn't be something that you all can't get around in. It would absolutely be something very reliable, something that, you wouldn't have a car note on. I mean, she would be responsible for the insurance, but then that would be you being responsible for the insurance on the vehicle as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, that's where the car would come in. But before then, I'm not trusting enough with people because I'm old enough to know that people aren't very trusting. And, even if you had a car parked in the driveway, people will just be your friend just to drive the car, and they'll take you some places, but then they'll want to have the car for the rest of the day to do whatever it is that they want to do. And for me, I can't have my name on something and have my insurance on something and then have people, ride off and take it and you still stuck in the same position. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't. Yeah, I can't do that. But the moment you get a wife, I mean, that might even be the wedding gift. You understand what I'm saying? And my intentions was always to get you a Mercedes truck. So that's my promise to you. You understand? Mm-hmm. So that's the questions that I have. I mean, so far, if you all have any other questions that you want to ask myself or ask my son, as far as RP, and I may not have touched on everything, is it something that you want to?
I don't have much to say. If you guys do have more questions, I guess you can drop by one of my streams. I do stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/BigChris9402. If you have any questions, you can drop by, say hi, come and chat, ask me whatever, and I'll answer while I play the game.
So thank y'all for stopping through. Like, comment, subscribe. definitely leave questions. We got answers. So you asked me for it, and I'm going to try my best to deliver it. So thank you all. This is Designing with RP. This is the Four C's of Diamond CEO. This is my son, Christian. And we thank y'all for stopping through. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one. All right.